Go ahead, ask your questions. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, and I was able to develop my first still image using a pinhole, basically DIY camera. It was a canister of oatmeal canister with some blue powder, and I put a piece of, I guess it was, development paper inside of it, and has a piece of tape. And I was instructed to open up the tape for a certain amount of time and close it. And it was just a picture of a fence. That moment, 10 or 11 years old, kind of gave me I guess my first ping of passion when it came to imagery. The first things I used to photograph was family, of course, friends, and then it became about stories about different things, structures, you know, how the ground looked, different patterns of history, brick and landscapes and things like that. So I like telling stories in that way, kind of like the things that people don't see all the time. It's there, but people don't see it. And what story is behind that? And I used to do a lot of that earlier on. When I was in Italy, I used to take a lot of portraits of people in Rome and Paris, and I fell in love with the culture. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the makeup of how people were kind of, just living their life, and I was kind of this tourist to it. I lived there for a couple of years, and it gave me a true vision of just something different, a different type of beauty, a different type of hardship, a different type of living. But I enjoyed it, and I would love to get back there and do more. My biggest influencers in my career, I think, really comes down to just relationships that I built along the way to kind of help me to be a little bit different, in my approach. My journey with all the different, scenarios and challenges, and finding what I like to do and finding how I need to kind of create what I want to create. And it truly took me quite some time to get there. But when I did, I said I need to be truly committed to this, and I opened up every opportunity for me to learn. I went into the Art Institute, and I wanted to know the business side of it. I wanted to know the collaborative side of it. I want to know the structure of communication. I want to know the technical stuff. All the things that I was missing from raw talent, I wanted to know. And it gave me an opportunity to adjust how I thought about practicing my photography and looking at practicing my photography and how I see my world through the viewfinder. And I can't carry the torches of others along with my journey, but I can take their stories with me. And some of the bigger people that influenced me the most, the first one was Robert Mapplethorpe, and his work. The reason why his work, not only is it infamous and amazing and just daring and beautiful, and studied still to this day. He built relationships with people still, and in that he was able to create the imagery that he has. But I felt when I first saw his work, I felt that he was the most bravest, daringest person I can ever think of, because he just did not hold back. And I want that feeling, I want that emotion in my work when people look at it. Like, I want that shiver. I want that the nervousness of why I like to see what I'm seeing. But he also too had a very beautiful and delicate side when he took imagery of flowers and plants, and even then, even how he structured the look of his plants, it still had a sense of danger. It still had a sense of joy. It had a sense of sex. It had a sense of love. All those things, and technical. So I catered my looks in that variety. And it's beautiful. I think it's amazing. That's a, what I want to accomplish with everything that I'm trying to do is really simple. Immortality. I don't think any person who comes to write something, to draw something, to paint something, to sing something, they don't think about immortality. Their works being used and used and overly used, their voice been heard time and time again. That's how you get immortal. Is that people still enjoy you, even when you're long gone. I still listen to Beethoven. You know, I still listen to Miles Davis. I still uh, listen to Prince and Michael Jackson, and I still see those amazing works of creators like Mapplethorpe, like um, Peter Lindbergh. He's another one that he'd love to tell stories, and man, and um, his fashion icon photographer. There's just it's just no words to be said about a lot of people like that. And there's a lot of great photographers. There's beautiful photographers, but to become immortal, you have to do the work, and you have to get in the room, and you have to do the things you're supposed to do. And I think that's what, when I look at the, without any type of reservation, that's what I look at, is immortality. I want the work to live past me. I want it to gift people every single time they have a chance to look at it and to enjoy it. To know that, man, where did this shot come from? Oh, that was that one guy. Oh, that was Antoine. Oh, that was High 5, whatever. Studio 5, you know? That would mean to me. Its name and what is High 5 and how, what does it mean? I guess where a lot of people can ask. And I'm going to tell you, it's no secret. It is what it is. It's just a High 5. It is that emotion or feeling that you get when you complete something and you did a great job and you feel good. You built something, or it's just an amazing experience and there's a High 5 there. We don't talk about that High 5, do we? We talk about what happened, but not a lot of people go into play like, man, what was that High 5? Why do we do that? And when I was searching and seeking and looking for a name to call what photography feels like to me, I didn't want a name that says this is photography. I wanted a name to remind me what photography feels like for me and what it is for me. And I figured that the best thing that came across me was pure luck. My son, I was in Ohio, and I was about to make my transition to Seattle, and it was just one of those moments where my son came up and gave me a High 5, and how amazingly wonderful that felt. My son giving me a High 5. Man, I'm gonna cherish these moments. It's a little disheartening because I didn't have those moments with a father. And when he gave me that High 5, I'm telling you, it was just like a light bulb just exploded in my head, and I was like, that's the feeling I want to have all the time. I want to have that pure joy, that innocence, that that wonderful bliss. When that High 5 is done, something happened before that. With all the stress, and I know a lot of photographers and models and artists, man, we go through a lot of stuff. But once it's done and that High 5 comes and everybody's happy, man, that is an amazing feeling. And that's what High 5 is. It's an amazing experience. And I have to live up to that. My team has to live up to that. Well, that's a question I think a lot of people come to want to only show the stuff that's shiny, right? Um, because it makes other scenarios feel better. I can tell you this, and know that you can trust this from me. No matter what my story is, my joy today out will outlive it. My heart today will grow even further away from any type of stress that I've had in my past. I was lucky to have an amazing groups of people help me along my way, along my journey in my life. And these amazing people, I owed a grave debt to them every single day that I live. I start with my mother. Um, I was told I was 3 pounds and some ounces when I was born, and I know what relevance does that have to where I'm at today. It's an amazing relevance because you know I am just truly grateful for her love and her um, just just sheer grit, just grit that she has. I love her for that. The families that took care of me in a time to where I needed it, and they were my lighthouse. They showed me different things to kind of give me a different way of thinking, give me a positive way of living, give me uh, a road to dream on, give me thoughts that I can be more than I ever thought I could ever be. And those people are amazing, and I would never ever forget them. My aunt Mildred, uh, the Shorts, Walter and Ruth, the Kirkus, rest in peace, Bob, Beverly, the Theomeyers, Kim and Harvey, my sister. All these folks had a great deal of energy into my life. Tanya, what a great charge. My older sister. We're twins. Almost. We were a year and a month basically apart in birth. Um, and she gave me my first step, or my first stone to where I'm at now. I remember having a conversation with her before I ever picked up my camera, and I asked her a series of questions, and I'm trying to find what I am, who I am, and where I am in this world. And she said to me, she said, "What brings you joy? Not happiness, joy." And that was a tough question. Joy? I mean, like pure unadulterated joy, and how I feel about that. I can do that every day. Do joy every day. Do I have something that brings me that amount of joy other than my amazing children? Whew. In an instant, I knew it, and I couldn't confuse it with anything else. My camera came into my head. My camera popped into my head, and I haven't put it down since. And those people who gave me those insights that I felt that probably was dormant in my life for a very long time, they're the true heroes of High Five. Not me. You know, it's those beautiful relationships. So today, what I look forward to doing today is working with amazing people. The client base that I strive for and look for and in collaboration with and are those who are like-minded in everything that I am. I don't think there's a time and place to where you cannot be about your business. You cannot be serious about things. You have to be focused and warrant that hard work and dedication to your hard work, that's all a part of who my customers are, because they want the best. They want that. I have no worry or ideation of art and responsibility when it comes to taking photos and giving imagery and building something from nothing. I have no illusions about that at all. Art and responsibility is two separate things. And in my art form of photography, my responsibility is always to my client. And my client is the most important thing to me when it comes to developing an actual end result. It has nothing to do with me. I am just a tool, a very amazing tool, but I am a tool to come and for me to be utilized in the circumference of what is trying to be established. Something simple as a headshot. That headshot means something. That could be someone that's trying to convey a message about who they are, how they feel. Can people trust you? The image to your words. All that matters in those little small details, in those small things. And that's where we win. And that's where we give our best to in those moments. But in High5, and what I'm looking at in High5 and my clients is an opportunity for me to give them the best